Hello.
Hey there. Afternoon.
I know.
It's sunny and nice in Minnesota. I'm not sure when we get this on the air, what the weather's going to be. But
actually, you won't care.
I won't care because I will be in Mexico.
Yeah.
Honestly, folks, my brain's already in Mexico.
Okay.
And my voice, I'm not sure where my voice is. I know you can hear that.
Little raspy, but actually it's kind of sexy. Yeah. Oh my God. So, okay, I texted you about this so that I wouldn't forget.
Oh yeah, I like that.
So,
the act of writing things down is very important.
It's very important.
Or typing.
Yeah. And then, if we both forget, then whatever. But no, so my sister and her husband, who they are 68 and 72 years old respectively, retired, and they've been married like 40, I don't even know now, right? I mean, 40 something years, 5 years, I think. And they just have a right. Well, they went down to Iowa to go to like a casino or something. And they're
the type that push off a foot from the dock in a river. Okay,
yeah. They love that crap. That's their thing. And they were coming back, and she tells me this like really hysterical story about they stop at this gas station. He runs in and he gets cashews, and then they're out in the middle of like nowhere, and then all of a sudden the gas light goes on. Well, they just left a gas station, so they're like, shit. So now they're looking for someplace. They find this little bar in a town of 100 people, and the guy's like, well, it's 4 miles from here, and if you get lost or if you don't make it, call me and I'll come and get you, which I'm sure he would, which that's adorable, and so they're in Iowa. So they decide they're going to have a beer because, why wouldn't you? Okay. So they do. And then in come these two guys, and they're carrying this bizarre thing. And she described it to me, and it's like, it looked like a sloped thing, and it had corrugated, the stuff that you put over, awnings, and Cindy and John are watching them, and they're all excited, and they're all looking at it, and and they're like, blah, blah, blah. And Cindy said, what is that? And he goes, we're having vibrator races. Now, in the middle of Iowa, in a town of 100 people, every single person that lives there and is 21 will be there.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to do, I mean, in the winter in the Midwest here.
Yeah.
I mean, unless, of course, you're like in agriculture, and then there's always something to do. But if you're not, not much else going on.
Vibrator races. I would love to see that.
Somewhere on one of our pages is a video of vibrator races. And we may have done it we had attempted to have a big event at my Coon Rapids store years ago. I am not good at events. I'm good at a lot of different things, but I'm not good at the big event thing. But we had vibrator races there. That was sort of fun. You have to get the hard plastic ones. If you get anything else, they don't move. And then eons and eons and eons ago, I think 93X here in town wanted to do vibrator races on the radio. I think that's when people were first getting their their websites and web cameras and all that sort of stuff. And so we did vibrator races on the air, and people would call in and say that they described the vibrators, and then like the first caller got to pick one and the second caller, but it was pretty damn funny. And but I'm like, you want to do vibrator races on the radio? Sure. I will bring you. You build a track. I will bring you some vibrators.
Was it a slope track like this?
Yeah. It's just a little bit, because you just need a little bit to go. You need a little gravity to help. Yeah. But if it's a good, and you really, and depending how big it is, I'm guessing the vibrators are probably harder plastic ones. What was it? I think it was the Rocks Off little small bullet vibrator that just tore down the track.
Oh, God. Well, it never occurred to me to try this.
Yeah.
And,
okay. One of the second, vibrators are hilarious in a bar. So for one of my friend's bachelorettes eons ago, of course, I gave her a whole bunch of vibrators, and we were at Glick's downtown Minneapolis, still there, right?
Place.
So we're in the back.
So
we put, I always give, toys, batteries. So her sister, they were older than she's put batteries in it, put it on the table, and it didn't fall over. It spun around.
Oh, fuck.
No, this is the first. We lost it. We were there were tears.
Oh, that's
and it's
fantastic.
Just spinning and spinning and spinning. And this is 25 years ago now.
That's fantastic.
And so I just really, vibrators, bars. My brother and sister, I think I mentioned this a few shows ago. They do a sex toy bingo in bars.
Yeah, that's good.
They sell out in the bars are at in Jersey. It's South Jersey, I think most of it. That's where where their stores are, and where they have a staff member who's really good at this stuff.
That's great. I would like to be the MC for that, personally.
That would be a hoot.
Yes.
Yeah, do you realize that I've never actually, a couple of Minnesota things that I've never done, or Midwestern things that I've never done. I have never gone anywhere and played bingo.
You're kidding me.
Okay. And I have never once been at a bar when they were having a meat raffle to take advantage of a meat raffle. I'm highly deprived of these amazingly Midwestern things. But it just hasn't, it's not like I'm avoiding them or I think that it just hasn't happened.
I'll have you know that I'm quite the meat queen. In the last 30 days, I won 3 times at one, and I won twice at another one 2 weeks later.
Your freezer must be spectacular.
I have the biggest pork tenderloin you have ever seen. I'm not kidding you. It's like 2 feet
From
long.
one of those
it's
massive
huge.
Duroc local pork thing. Oh,
we called it the home wrecker. I've got tenderloins. I've got bacon. Oh my God. I have an entire trunk freezer that's packed. I know.
I am jealous of your meat.
I know. I am the meat queen. Speaking of queens, Renee Zellweger just pulled a British Academy Film Award, or a BAFTA. She won for Best Actress for her portrayal of Judy Garland. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. I know she was nominated here for an Oscar, but I'm not sure who won.
I think she did.
She did here too, so she's won. Okay.
Okay, I think so.
I don't watch too much more. I realize that I've hit the age where I have no idea, one, what most of the films are.
Yep.
And 2, who the people are that are in them.
Yeah.
Because I sort of like that whole, I'll look at the red carpet pictures. I have no idea who these people are.
Yeah, they've gotten.
I used to do movies every Wednesday night, but I honestly, I have to pee too much. I can't sit still that long anymore.
I just don't like going to the theater. You know, I know everybody goes, "Oh, you got to see it on the big screen." It's like, yeah, no, I hate sitting in theaters.
Yeah, I just have to get up too much.
So, yeah. But so she just won. And anyway, in an interview, I just wanted to mention this because she said it was impossible to accurately portray her without representing her legacy to the LGBTQ community, because she kind of spoke up for gays early on. And Renee was talking about how that was at a time when those people just couldn't live authentically. So pretty interesting.
That's why she is definitely an icon. I know, and so many folks do her in drag. Yeah, it's gone through there.
Well, and Liza Minnelli, I suppose inherited some of it, but she's such a fun performer.
Yeah,
that so she kind of comes by it honestly in a different way.
Yeah, it's definitely a family legacy for them, because I believe wasn't Judy one of her husbands when they finally divorced? It was gay. Was it known gay or beard, or was that Liza?
I don't know, hon. I don't know. But I was laughing. One of the worst movies ever made, sadly, from a franchise that I love, Sex and the City 2, was on TV the other day, and I did like to watch the first part of it because the first scene is the gay wedding.
Yeah, and what I don't understand is where do they? Did the writers get stoned for that? Because that was cute. It was the series was sort of groundbreaking. The movie was just pure fluff, and I enjoyed it. And then I don't know what the fuck happened to the second one.
I know, it was a mess.
Made no sense.
But the wedding between Stanford and Anthony was hysterical, and Liza was there.
Yeah.
And the line that the Miranda character makes is so funny. She said, "I think when there's this much gay energy in one place, Liza just manifests." I thought that was hilarious.
That was that. See, that's a good line.
That's a funny line.
So whoever wrote that somehow wasn't involved in any of the rest of the movie, because that's probably the best line in it.
Yeah, for sure. So you found this story.
Which one is this?
Vegan condoms.
Oh yeah. What I did not realize is that in the I just figured, what the hell's not vegan about condoms? But what I didn't understand in this, because, I finally read and did all stuff. And so I've learned something new, is that there's actually an animal byproduct that sometimes is used in the making of the latex. Well, honestly, you wouldn't believe how many animal byproducts are in almost everything used. It's actually pretty much impossible to truly be vegan. I mean, if you there's medications that are given to children when they're premature to help their lungs. And that's a bovine byproduct.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was looking through something, and it's in everything.
Yeah.
Animal byproducts. So, I mean, I know people try that, but you really, I did not understand that it's truly impossible to not use animal products.
Yeah.
In if you want to function, but they're able to find something else for condoms.
They did.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're talking about the casein protein that they use for the latex, but this is a couple of German guys, and it's really cool. And you can look it up. The company is called Einhorn, which is German for unicorn. Which why is that so funny on so many levels? But check it out if that's important to you.
Yeah, and the brand, and we may have carried them or gone, and you can find them, is Glide here in the U.S. The company that makes the vegan condoms here. That's Glide with a Y.
Okay.
But I'm like, well, I did not know. I like learning new things.
Yeah, that's very interesting, actually. And it does. It kind of took you down a path of realizing, like, how much, like you said, you started here and then you end up going, oh my gosh,
and I
that.
kept clicking on this,
Yep.
and then I saw a post from a farmer that was listing all the things that were in, and because someone else had made a post about their child and the lung stuff. I mean, it was just, and that's what I didn't know. I was like, how, but why would you know that?
Yeah.
I mean, you can, yeah.
I mean, if you look at the ingredients of even things that aren't food, I mean, anything, it's like, what the fuck is that?
There are animal products in our phones.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's there's all the different things that are come. There's very little waste. When you use something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. This next one's a little disturbing.
Okay.
There's a study that was done and it published in the Frontiers in Neurology, and a Turkish doctor, and I cannot pronounce his name. I am not even going to try, okay? But he basically says that people, men, taking Viagra can end up with some seeing blue, actually. And it has to do, there are 17 cases where men experienced odd optical side effects after taking high-dose sildenafil, which is the generic version. Yeah, so it can cause persistent eye problems, which once again, there's that old wives' tale about doing something and going blind and now Viagra, whatever. But what they're telling you is, the dosage is incredibly important. And it is very important to take it under a doctor's supervision because of the way it interacts with not only other medications, but depending on what's going on with you. So to be very careful. Don't just freaking order it off the internet, people.
No, yeah. It's very frustrating how much fake product is out there. Because not only does it, a fake vibrator, you might, may not last as long as a name brand one, but knockoff drugs. That is not something that you want to be doing.
No. Kind of funny. Burger King did something for Valentine's Day that I didn't find out until afterwards. I mean, it was mostly done on the West Coast, San Francisco area. Actually, Boston did too. But Valentine's Day, Burger King gave away a free burger if you brought in if you broke up, if you had just recently broken up and you brought a picture of your ex, you get a free burger. So I thought that was pretty funny. Free Whopper, actually. They called it the breakup box. Whatever. I love it when they take something and spin it and do something fun. I mean, why wouldn't you, right?
Well, I wonder if they'll do anything for Steak and Blowjob Day. That's March 14th.
Well, thank you for telling me that. I always forget that because I'm always so obsessed with St. Pat's.
Yeah, that's that we do sell a fair amount of stuff for St. Patrick's Day. It's become sort of, besides a drinking holiday, it's become sort of a horny holiday too.
Good.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. You and I have talked. We just kind of referenced this with the drug story, but you and I have talked about like Amazon stuff and knockoff products and whatever. This story, I threw this in here because this has happened to me before. Have you ever ordered an outfit online and then, it comes and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, I've been fairly lucky because I have not ordered a lot of, I'll order from like Land's End and stuff like that.
Okay.
My daughter has ordered from several different companies that were less than reputable, and a few times we're like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
And then a friend just ordered a pair of boots that were supposed to be this really gorgeous, dark eggplant suede, and they end up being these purple pull-on plastic things or something like that were beyond hilarious. She took a picture of them. And those pictures of like, gowns that, here's the picture I thought I was getting and here's what showed up.
Yep.
That is clickbait that I have a difficult time resisting.
Exactly. That's good. That's good time. That's good stuff. Yeah. And something you said just made me think of, I was going to say, this was really weird. So this happened to me a couple Christmases ago. I got an email from Coach.com, and I buy from Coach, and so I got an email for sale, and I clicked on it, and I found something, and I ordered it. And when it showed up, it was not from Coach. It was from China, and they had duplicated their.
It looked really good, except for like one letter somewhere, so that the address,
the
looked,
logo,
everything looked legitimate, but it wasn't.
And it was like
they're so good.
You should have seen what a piece of crap this thing was. So I went to my bank and I had them. I filed a complaint, and I said I was duped by this email. I had no idea, and it was such a piece of crap. This purse that, sending it back was not even going to happen, right? Because I figured you cheated me, whatever. Oh my God. I kept getting these nasty in broken English emails, threatened emails. And I'm like, go ahead, do whatever you want. I don't care, send the cops, I'll show them, this piece of shit. You cheated me. But I argued with those people for like a month. They were very persistent. And I'm assuming if you blocked one thing, then they would pop up on it from another thing. Yeah. What was so classic about it, and I have to give them a little credit, these were not automated. These were somebody was sitting down and typing. And I'm like, for the fact that this is a different alphabet, I am impressed. So but yeah, be careful with that stuff because it's pretty scary. I have this I have a pair of boots coming tomorrow.
Hopefully from a reputable company?
Oh, I know this one is. Okay. But they send out an email. They do all these flash sales, and every day it's a company that has all these cowboy boots. It's boot porn. Every day I go through the entire email just to see what they've got because they've got these crazy Swarovski crystal. they are insanely cool, and I want every single pair.
I get we get very different emails because I get from I get a massive amount of emails from replacements.com because I had wanted some more pieces of this pattern of this silver plate that I have, and then I ended up breaking a bowl that I really liked from a set was like that, and so they send out multiple emails a week, and I'm like, oh, those are cute. Yeah, they got flowers and they're red and hearts. You need these. You should have had these for Valentine's.
I know. They're really cute. Yeah. So you do dish porn.
Yeah. I have to admit that mine is. I do have a thing for. When I was a kid, and I say that because I was only like 19 or 20, I worked in this old Donaldson China department, and I just learned a lot about that stuff, and I just. I'll look at dishes, flatware, and then of course another thing is sheets. Oh my God, do I love myself a decent pair of.
Where do you get yours?
Actually, honestly, the only thing that I really like is I usually end up going to a department store like Macy's, and I love Ralph Lauren makes a brilliant set of sheets. It's not too high of a thread to count. If it's too high of a thread count, it's too warm and too stiff.
Okay.
Now, generally, you like things that are stiff.
Yes.
I don't want
not in this
stiff.
case.
No, not in this case at all.
Okay.
So I love me some Ralph Lauren sheets.
So what's a good thread count? Because I always wonder that.
Honestly, I don't think you need to go over 350. To me, anything over that is just, it's sort of like the difference between getting, I mean, you can buy a Lexus, but personally, I don't think it's worth $20,000 more than a Hyundai because it, for about, maybe one or two features. It's the same thing. You can buy the higher count sheets. I don't think they do anything.
Okay. I've always wondered about that because nobody pulls you aside and explains sheet counts. This is something you have to learn on your own, and I did not know, so thank you.
Yeah, no, some people like that, but to me it's too warm and to go through, and the sheets wash up well, and they get all nice and soft, but they're still all cotton or whatever. It's just lovely. Okay. Their towels suck. They pill all over the place. I don't know who they make that, but I have loved myself some Loren sheets. I don't even care about the clues, but I don't know who they license their damn name to, but the sheets are spectacular.
I did not know you were such a houseware goddess. This is good to know. So next time I'm thinking about something, I'm calling.
I think this is one of the reasons, like, I am very particular about the things in my home, and I think that's one of the reasons I've always been very particular about the brands that we carry in the store, because there is some stuff out there that we could carry, and I refuse.
Yeah.
It's too goddamn cheap. I don't care if, a lot of folks sometimes they'll buy a vibrator if they're going on a trip or they're doing something and they don't want, they want I want to, but even stuff that I think is going to be disposable cannot be crap. I can't do it. If there's, that's why there are 4 or 5 lines out there, probably more that I know of, and there's probably more out there. I get emails all the time buy direct from China, and this shit is not going to happen.
Good for you.
The stuff's made there, but I'm not buying from folks that I don't know, and stuff like that. Because they'll, no, won't happen.
Cool.
No, I like it. I like nice stuff in my house.
That's awesome. So we always publish the stories that we talk about on the Great Northern Sexcast Facebook page. And I'm going to mention this article. We're going to put it up, but this is pretty funny. And actually it's clever and there's something to it. Basically, this article is called Dominatrix Tips for Getting Ahead. And it's the Dominatrix talking about the principles that she uses and how you can be successful in business. And you read it and it's pretty smart.
Yeah.
So,
because if you're doing that, you have a very strict hierarchy. There's, you've got your rules. You've got everyone has to do that. There's a hell of a lot of confidence that's involved in that.
Yep.
I definitely see something like that, and then if you're not confident, fake it till you make it's probably in there. But the best part about that is people somehow think that sex work is different somehow than other work, and it's not. Yeah. It really isn't. You can really hear my voice going, so I do. It's like that.
Take a sip of water.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Oh, but you were saying that, we put the stuff on the Facebook page. So we've got I decided to do an Instagram for this podcast.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Now, I have it on there, and I've got like 3 posts, but I know how to do some things, like take my own picture and do stuff like that, but I'm not quite sure how to take like a story yet and figure out how to do that link. But I'm going to go to Mexico and I'm going to have fun, and then I'm going to come back.
Maybe some of your friends.
And I'm going to, I'm going to explore the Instagram a little bit more, because I've been noticing that for my stores, the Instagram, it gets more eyeballs.
Really? People are moving to that.
Yeah, so we've got the Facebook page where it is, and I do have Instagram, and I'm gonna, that has a link to the Spreaker page.
Okay.
And but I'm gonna play. So if you see that there, it's like, that is us, that is me. I did put it on there. I started it, but I haven't been able to delve into it. And of course, there's a Great Northern Sexcast Twitter too. We send a link out to each show on that.
Oh, good.
So I've got to figure out what's going through there. But I just
thank you.
Brought that up for.
We haven't talked about that in a while, but I've got to get the Instagram thing down too. So there's this pretty funny blog. God knows how I got to this, but
the rabbit hole. Yeah, the rabbit hole of the internet. Yeah.
This Australian mom wrote an essay about her kids, and she's got 3, and she did this story about the mortifying remarks that her children make in public. And basically, she says, I try to go to the bathroom by myself, but they're in there, and the door things are perfect height for toddlers, and she always ends up with an audience, and then they'll yell out, "Mommy, I heard your poo hit the toilet."
Yeah. it is quite fascinating what a small, there's no filter on a toddler.
Yeah.
There just isn't. And I was actually quite lucky when my kid was a toddler. She's still is sort of. She's sort of an observer.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm. Good. Not a commentator? I was a commentator.
No. She's much more of an observer, just going through there. And so that was well. Maybe if there'd been siblings and they were, were egging each other on, but, she's an only. So, so that probably may have helped a little bit.
Yep.
It's going through there. But,
But she talks about, it's funny. She goes, I heard your poo land in the toilet. Is your vagina drying?
Yeah. What I like that is that, think about that, is that is a parent.
Oh my God, that's funny.
That is using proper words.
Yeah.
I know that we've talked about this before, but this, using the proper terminology makes it a lot safer for your kids, because if something ever does happen, they have the vocabulary to know what's going on.
Yep.
It's going through there. So yeah, it's embarrassing now, but it's going to reap benefits later when they can understand real information, or they're learning things, or people are telling them stuff. And they go,
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is pretty funny, in my opinion. The coronavirus, of course, has been making the news, and I feel genuinely for the people that have been stranded on these cruise ships. That sounds like a nightmare.
I'm not a big cruise ship fan myself. I've only been on one cruise. It was years and years and years ago, during the first Gulf War, when they were giving away, practically giving away, no one was traveling, giving away rooms. Yeah. And it's just not my thing. It isn't. And then the fact that they've just made these ships like 3 times bigger than they were 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then how fast that anything, Legionnaires or coronavirus, norovirus. No, there's just nothing about this that for me personally, that I'm interested in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, adult entertainment webcam platform CamSoda is offering free shows to people trapped in quarantine.
I saw that. Because not only are they trapped on the ship, they're in their rooms. They are. It is a true quarantine. So I think a free porn subscription is a lovely thing for this, because we're not. These are thousands of folks on like 2 or 3 ships now, and there might be more by the time this airs. And I'm just like,
you okay?
I can definitely. I think if you're, I'm just curious, like, what the birth rate may be, because what if, like, you're like, don't have any birth control with you, or it runs out. Who knows? Yeah.
Well, I think it's funny. They're trying to be legit here. You have to send a copy of your cruise ship ticket or employee credentials to stranded@camsoda.com.
I'm going to be on like I said, a trip when this airs, but I travel. I've got, have you ever been like at a doctor's office? You see that little thing that looks like wipes, but it's like those really like TB, all those killing wipes, stuff like that. I have those for the stores. People wipe down phones and doorknobs, stuff like that, public and stuff that gets touched a lot. And I have some in a baggie. I'm going to get on that plane, and I'm going to be wiping down my tray table and the window thing and the armrest. The seatbelt. Yeah. That sucker is getting wiped out.
For you. Well, you've had some real experiences, so I don't.
Oh yeah, well, I honestly, I know I've said this before too. Is that my expectations for air travel are pretty low. Once you get on a plane and you get there and you look down and there's no seat in the seat, and then you look up in that luggage bin and realize there's the cushion dripping in vomit. Mm-hmm. Seriously, and I'm like, no, that is. If I don't have a vomit dripping seat. That's it. We're already.
That's a pretty low bar, Colleen.
Yeah. That's how low the bar is. So I do not get on a plane anymore without a Ziploc bag or whatever of these wipes that I can wipe down.
That's actually really, really, really smart. I have extremely mixed feelings about the next story.
Okay.
Sexologist Shan Boodram says that the scent of her, quote, vagina juice makes admirers flock to her. Long story short, and we'll post the story.
So should she make a candle of it?
No, she rubs it on her neck.
Oh.
And uses it and her wrist as perfume.
I know. I have actually I run across this concept before in different books and different things we've read that there are folks that have done that. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a reason there's a scent on there. There's a reason there's a hair and a trap scents and everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, she says, I've used this technique countless times in the past 10 years and I've had mixed results. Sometimes people are flocking to me. Sometimes I don't notice a difference. But she says, so while I'm not sure how effective it is, I'm certain that every single time I do this, it makes me feel like an enchanted goddess with a delicious secret. So you know what? Whatever turns your crank, Shan. Knock yourself out.
No, I have run across that in sort of how-to books and different things before that there are folks that have done this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We just restocked a whole bunch of new pheromone products that came
really?
in. Yeah, they did. Christmas and Valentine's is a big day for those. And just the other day, I walked into the warehouse and I went, "Oh, I'm walking out of the warehouse because with my nose, I can. It's a little overwhelming for me."
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean that stuff. What about tentacle porn? You guys carrying any tentacle toys?
They've run across. I don't. I know that Tara's talked about them. Mm-hmm. Whether and I don't know if they're available on our website because that has many more pieces than others. But yeah, that is. I know that's a thing, mm-hmm. And if we did, the only time that I probably would have it is when we do things like Crypticon or special events. Yep. I don't see taking up wall space for something that honestly is pretty niche.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. We got a whole article about this, but he talks about the toys are starting to sell really well. But he said, the guy that's quoted in the article says, I can't really see porn stars getting dressed up in squid costumes, though. It would lose its erotic effect, and we'd probably be dying laughing.
Yeah, most of the tentacle porn is anime, and it most of it coming out of Japan, and it's pretty funky. It's not a thing that particularly turns me on because believe me, I've seen a lot of porn in the past 31 years.
I bet you have.
But not as much people would. But it's mostly in passing. I mean, there still is nothing funnier than wandering down to talk to my mom about something and realizing that they've got a TV that they're testing to see what a DVD. Someone says scratch or get, like, oh, that looks a little scratch. We'll clean that up and we'll see if it still works. It's just weird.
It's funny.
I mean, the sound's not on, but sometimes the sound has to be on if someone's complaining about the sound. And my mom and then she's just busy doing stuff.
Oh, I've gone and talked to your mom in the video room with porn in the background.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom's great. I like your mom. And by the way, speaking of tentacle porn, if for anybody that was a fan of Mad Men, there was a painting in Bert's office that was tentacle porn. It was a Japanese, and so there's kind of a little. It's kind of this little thing in the story.
Little tentacle egg in the background of the show.
Yeah, okay. pretty much. Okay, our neighbors to the west, South Dakota lawmakers, have voted on a bill that would make it criminal for doctors to provide puberty blockers, hormones, or any gender affirmation surgeries to anybody under the age of 16. This is hitting legislatures across the country right now. And the arguments, there's all kinds of arguments, but there's also bills like this, in various stages in Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, South Carolina, Colorado, Florida, and Oklahoma. So there's very, very interesting. The arguments are, on the one side, doctors are saying, look, this makes them healthier and it helps them through the depression and all the things that they're going through. Other people are saying they're too young to make a decision.
What's really fascinating about that, the folks that are saying that they're too young to make a decision are the same folks who probably think that someone can get married at that time. There's a bit of hypocrisy there.
Yeah,
it's going through there. I don't believe that there's probably been enough research to know one way or another, because a lot of this is only been available in about the past 10 years, a lot of this different stuff. Some of it may be reversible, some of it may not be. But I do know, and it's what is known is that the rate of suicide for trans kids, gender questioning kids, folks that just don't feel at home in their bodies, is really quite high. You know, compared to the general populace. And then you sort of wonder, what's going through there. So I mean, if they were about to say under 18, I think that might be a little tough. But they are saying 14, and I'm not even
16.
16. Oh, 16. The 16. And there's not really, and it's, and the thing is that age is arbitrary because people's bodies develop at a different rate. So just from a medical standpoint, how do you pick an age? Because I mean, there are kids that go through puberty when they're like 10 and 11 now. Yeah, it's going through there. But yeah, I'm not sure, honestly, that this is something that you can legislate your way out of or into. If that makes any sense?
Oh, it makes total sense. And for me, I don't like to intervene in decisions that should be made by families with issues that I know nothing. I mean, I know about them from a reading context, but I don't experience. It is not up to me to tell them how to live.
Yeah, I mean, there needs to be a bit of, if you truly believe in, well, some of these folks don't believe in bodily autonomy, or if they did, they only believe it for men. But, you're going through there and you're balancing. The old adage, would you rather, have a live child with someone, or a dead child, just going through there. And, and the fact that not one or two, but the fact that some may change their minds later should not negate the fact that most won't. Yeah. Because there's no such thing. This is what the thing is. I think folks are trying to, once again, legislate a perfect 100% outcome.
You can't.
And you can't. And they just, it's going through there. And I honestly think that stuff like this will probably do more harm than good. And they use this.
You okay? Yep.
And they actually use this more to distract from other issues. You know what I mean? And to instead of having a discussion about healthcare in general, or whether or not they should raise the tax 0.25% to deal with crumbling infrastructure, whether stuff like that, or whether or not they should decide to deal with like runoff from farms or stuff like that. You can just say, well, let's talk about this because it's divisive. It doesn't really affect that many people. Most folks will ignore it.
Yep.
It's going through there versus stuff that is actually hard. The other stuff, it's not, it's going through there.
Yeah.
So I think they jump all over this stuff so they don't actually have to do the other stuff more so than helping more than they care about these kids.
Yeah. I mean, I would never try to tell anybody in this situation what to do because I can't relate to it. I mean, and I don't mean that I think it's bad. I don't know what you're going through. Yeah. So it's not my job to tell you what to do, Yeah.
I mean, I know families that are dealing with this.
Sure.
And it's been, trying to find the appropriate care is very difficult.
I bet.
And then, and trying to, and, and to some extent, I mean, at no point in our lives as cisgendered females did we ever, wake up one morning and go, okay, on my to-do list today is go pick my gender, pick my sexuality. It's just there. So if I knew it, how am I supposed to say that somebody else is confused?
Yeah. I mean, I just can't.
Yeah. So I find that's the part that I find difficult. I mean, it's going through there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really hard. Do you remember Rae Dawn Chong, the actress?
Yeah.
She was kind of a big deal for a while.
Yeah.
Tommy Chong's daughter. Yeah. Really exotic and cool looking and very beautiful.
She fit a lot of different roles in the This role just needs an exotic, which means non-white, slightly role, slightly movie roles, but still didn't have any substance to anything.
Yeah. She was in, I always enjoyed her. But I think Mick Jagger's probably going to be pretty mad at her because she was on a podcast and let it slip that she had sex with him when she was 15, i.e. underage, and then went back and said, I feel incredibly bad about it. In another interview about it, it's me and my big mouth. My family and friends knew, but it's not anything I've ever said, and he's probably going to lose his shit because I was a minor. He's going to be mad. Well, as well he should be. Well,
I mean, first of all, there's quite a number of years. The age of consent in some states, honestly, is really quite low. Sometimes it can be as low as 14, but it also has to do with the fact that someone can only be so much, years older. But I don't know what the statute of limitations and stuff like that is because I'm pretty sure, that she's probably in her 40s at this point. It's going through there. And it's going through there. But, there's probably an awful lot of folks out there that have, famous or not famous, that have had sex with underage people. That was, put it this way, certainly fit the legal definition of statutory rape, but probably was not coercive.
Oh, she says it wasn't.
Or harmful. You know what I mean?
And she absolutely goes on to say that. But I just think that if you were okay, she should have just kept her damn mouth shut.
Yeah, but it probably, I mean, who knows? People just, things sometimes just blather out. And it's been so many years that her mind, is going through there. But I haven't seen that much more about it. And I think probably that, it's, Mick Jagger. It's not, who does not have, obviously has a reputation for being a rock and roll person and having a lot of sex, but from what I can tell, certainly not a reputation for being an ass about it.
No, not that I've ever heard.
No.
Speaking of which, are you going to try to go see them when they're here?
That's the weekend I'm bringing my kid home from school. So honestly, it saved me a fucking fortune because even though it's at U.S. Bank and even though I've heard that it just sucks like the son of a bitch for sound there, I would have gone to see the Stones.
It's on my bucket list, and so I think I might try to go. But the only concert I've ever been to at the bank was U2, and it's kind of a long story, but that was the year that Bono had gotten hurt and postponed his concert for a whole year. And so I ended up, my husband and I bought those tickets and we were divorced. And I was with my now husband and he was with his brother and we had to sit next to each other because we split the tickets in the divorce. And then it rained the entire time. Most miserable fucking night of I can possibly.
I have seen the Stones eons and eons ago. When they were at the Metrodome.
Oh, my goodness.
And believe me, the sound sucked there, too. But
it
was the Stones, for God's sakes.
Oh, my God, you got to see
here's
the
the deal.
Stones.
So this is probably in my 20s, right? So mid-20s, so 25-plus years ago, whenever they were here, if anyone was there. And so tickets were released like that morning, because remember, they get the stage up, and then they know where the sight lines are a little bit more. So they released some stuff to the right and the left of the stage. And so a friend scarfed up a bunch of them. This is all email, so it's certainly not that text, and none of this shit existed, back then. So we had really good seats. They had runways that came out. And at one point, this is 25 years ago, and Keith Richards looked like he was freaking zombie and dead. What the hell does he look like in real life now?
Unclear.
Because I swear I was probably less than 20 feet from him. When they would come up where we were sitting on the side, and when they were coming up, that the stage parts that jutted off, it was an amazing show. The only thing I couldn't see was the drummer.
That's amazing.
If you walked around and peered, you could, but we couldn't. It was a blast. So I have seen them, and it was a hoot.
I just got to tell you, I read an article, this was years ago, that Keith Richards, remember how bad he looked? And then somebody said everybody else is aging, and he's actually youthing. Like he started looking better, and that is pretty ironic, kind of.
I think one of the things is that I don't think he actually drinks or does anything anymore.
Oh.
So he doesn't have that happening. And if you're doing that, if you're getting your calories from a little bit more food, it might have actually sort of plumped him up a little bit.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Oh God, he would die.
But it was hilarious. I'm like, oh my God, I was so close I could see them, see the wrinkles up.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. No, I would go. I mean, I've enjoyed their music. And I was going through that. I don't own any of it. I don't own most music. I just listen to regular radio or I pay for it on Sirius. I don't download anything for free. I think or should be paid. So I don't do that, But I would go. But no, I saw the date and went, no, I'll be taking my kid home from school. Oh,
we'll talk next week.